Hey guys, what I'm doing tonight is I am putting a new carburetor on the Echo 225 straight shaft trimmer. The problem I was having was it was leaking some gas oil mix in between I think it's the case and the carburetor. I think it might have just been something stuck inside that was letting the gas flow out. But these things are only 15 bucks on Amazon. So I just bought a new one. I don't typically replace them. I usually just run these for pretty hard for about a year, and then I just kind of get rid of them and buy new ones because they're relatively inexpensive. But I did buy two new trimmers in mid-year last year. For some reason, these ones didn't last me a year like they typically do. So I figured I'll take the chance. I'll 15 bucks or whatever it is. I'll buy a new one and I'll put it on. It's pretty simple. You don't really have to do anything. The only thing you have to do is you have your air filter case here. You just unscrew this knob, pop that off. It's got the air filter. It's got the air filter inside. Set it off to the side. Also, as well, a common issue on these for some reason. I don't know if it's just my trimmer racks or if everybody tends to have this problem, but the choke lever snaps off on all of mine. I actually replaced this one, and I had to put a new pull cord on this because we broke the pull cord and this was broken off. So what I do is when I do get new trimmers, I usually keep one of the old ones for parts, and I was able to salvage the pull string and this case. So if this little choke lever breaks off, you can buy a replacement, which I did because my other one needs it. I don't remember what this cost. I don't know if it's on the ticket. Yeah, it doesn't have a price. It was pretty cheap. It was maybe 10 bucks. Gives you a new choke lever. And all you do to replace that is you just have to pull these two Torx bits out, and this and the carburetor comes off. It's really simple. So if you break that little choke lever off, you can replace that pretty inexpensively and really pretty easy without a whole lot of tools. There's two bolts to get this carburetor, and I don't know what they call this. I guess it's the, what does it say on here? Air cleaner case. That's what they call this. I don't know if that's the technical term, but that comes all off in an assembly. I'm gonna have to roll it the other way just because the gas line, I don't want the gas going all over the place. You have to disconnect these two lines. They just slide off. The throttle cable right here, you just take that off with a crescent wrench or something to the sort. I did have this off already once. I was trying to figure out exactly where it was leaking, and I came to the conclusion it was the carburetor, and it was just easier to buy a new one. So I'm trying to stay out of the light here. So you pop that off, and then this, you have to, I believe you have to turn it. I think you can turn it all the way to pop this cable out. Oh, here, actually push on the bottom. Probably can't see because my fingers are in the way. If you push on the bottom, it releases the slack. Let me see if I got a break. There you go. That just pops out of there. And then this slides off of there. Hopefully I wasn't completely in the way. You saw what I kind of did there. It's pretty straightforward. If you take it apart, you'll see it. But you got to get this throttle linkage off of there. Get these lines. And I would probably pay attention. There's two lines here. When you pull these, you have a black and you have a clear line. Well, it's more like a yellow because it's dirty. Just pay attention where it goes. I think I took a picture last time, but I know the clear line goes on the nipple closest to me when I go to put the new carburetor back on. Like I said, this is a Torx for these bolts. I think all the bolts on this, for the most part, is the Torx 27. Get your New carburetor. Oh, look at that. They even threw in a spark plug, a new primer bulb. Oh, a new air filter. Interesting. They give you a lot for whatever it was. I think it was 15 bucks. They gave you quite a bit. I'm actually kind of surprised. So there's my new carburetor. I'm going to try to take this off. I always try to take it off. I mean, it's pretty simple, and I have other trimmers I can look at to reference. But anytime you're working on something, it's always a good idea to leave things on the bench exactly how they slide off, so that way when you put them back on, you know the reference. Because I know it sounds stupid, but I've taken apart many things, and I said, oh, how does that go back together? I don't know if they give you gotta imagine they give you a new gasket for this carburetor. But, oh, yep, there it is. Like I said, they gave you a filter, a spark plug, oh, new fuel lines. Interesting. They gave you quite a bit for 15 bucks. I'm not going to replace all this because, to be honest with you, I just want to try to get this thing to run through the first couple months of the year, because that's the hardest on them, at least for me where we're at. As long as it does that, I'm good with that. I will throw the rest of those parts in my spare part bin, just in case you need something down the road. You just set this on, make sure the orientation's right, and then this filter with the bolts just go through the housing to secure it. And that, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's really pretty straightforward. I don't know if they can make it much simpler. Always, I'm sure you guys know this, but always hand thread your bolts before you use a impact. If you don't, you take the chance of stripping them. Get your two hoses. Like I said, the clear hose goes on closest to you on top. The black hose goes on the bottom. This just slides in there. Nothing crazy. Should just slide in there. Of course it's not sliding in. So sometimes the aftermarket stuff, the tolerances are different, or even sometimes they're designed slightly different. This one looks like there's something going on. I just can't figure out what. I think the inside of this is just a little too small. You know, all this stuff is made cheaply and made in other countries, as we all know. So I'm just going to try to bend this opening where this throttle cable slides into. Just to give me, just need a hair more. I don't need much. There you go. That's all it needed. Okay. And then gotta try to get this on here. I don't remember this being this tight. Maybe it was. This cable, I think, is the most aggravating part of the whole thing. It's pretty cold out here, guys. December. It's like 30 degrees out, which isn't terrible, but it's A little nippy. Really don't understand why you gotta fight this so much. I really think it has something to do with the I think the tolerance is just off a little bit, and they made it a little bit smaller, which I'm not surprised. So get that cable in, snug the cable back, make sure it's good. Put your 2 fuel lines on. Cable. New filter. That, because this filter was pretty nasty with all the oil leaking. And that's it. Let's see if it starts. Get some gas in it. Ten years later. That's not quite for sure. Oh, there it is. Okay. It took a really long time to get gas in there. Let's start. Sometimes it takes a minute for the gas to get in there, but I think there's a possibility I might have flooded it a little bit. Hey, never claimed a mechanic. Starting fluid. That's it, guys. For the most part, it did take a little longer to get started than I thought. Part of that's because there's not gas in it, one, and also because it's so cold out right now. So hopefully that helps. Real simple. Didn't take me that long, a few minutes. Catch you next one, guys.